professional with extensive leadership and operational management experience across business, government, health and social sectors. She is the founder of the YOD network of WA, and with the knowledge and experience gathered over many years, helps others access quality information and resources to make informed care and treatment choices to get the best health outcomes possible. She is a care partner supporting a loved one living with young onset dementia, currently balancing projects of special interest, community education and advocacy. Please welcome Vicki Barry.
Gosh, that sounds like a past life to me, but anyway, we continue to reinvent ourselves on a daily basis here. So the Young Dementia Network WA, we formed that back in 2017, and what was happening at the time, we had the rollout of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, changes to my aged care and the Carer Gateway, and really a lot of the programs and support we were getting was just defunded like that because all the balls were up in the air. It was kind of the perfect storm, if you like. So what happened was a core group of us who were meeting on a regular basis in a support group, specifically for young onset dementia, we got together, and because we had formed such a strong bond during that time and connected, we decided to set up our own support group basically. So what we did, we just established a Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook page because we only want people on there like ourselves who are actually living with dementia. And you obviously have to be under the age of 65 at the time of diagnosis. So just to give you a sense of the profile of our group, if you like, because, you know, we're a mixed bunch, we truly are. Our youngest member is a 38-year-old with a married with a 2-year-old child. Eldest one in the group would be probably about 72, and the median age would be somewhere in the mid-50s. So that just gives you a bit of an idea. Now, the one family that I can think of that probably epitomises how difficult and how challenging living with dementia and caring can be would be a family who, he was a doctor in ED at Joondalup. He was diagnosed in his early 50s. She's Burmese and a nurse, actually working 1 day a week to keep her nursing accreditation current, because she knows she's going to have to go back to work full time at some point. And bear in mind, if we're all living with young onset dementia, where, you know, most of us are working nowhere near retirement age, so we haven't planned for this, right? So on top of that, they have 3 dependent children and 2 sets of ageing parents. I don't think caring could get any more challenging than that. So that just gives you, you know, we are very different in terms of our ages, stages of dementia, types of dementia, nationalities. I mean, seriously, but that is actually our strength and our beauty, actually. And you know, we, between us and collectively, we have a profound knowledge and wisdom of the lived experience that you don't read in a book, you won't hear on a webinar, and you're not actually told by the trained professionals either. So, you know, and that the safety of being on a closed Facebook group and exclusively for our peer group allows us that, if you like, ability to do that. And then there's a safety of sharing among our peers, which allows us to be open and to be vulnerable and free from judgment. We've heard about the stigma and all of those things. And you know what? It's kind of like being in a secret squirrel club that actually none of us really want to belong to. But it's kind of that nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and you just get it when you see someone, like you just know. So, and then beyond that, there's a friendship and the comfort that we share, whether it could be a phone call, it might be a text, going on an outing or a holiday together. And we've been on many holidays with others in our group because we just find that easy to manage. And just as Keith said, we've learned that sticking to 5 or 6 days is probably about as much as you can manage. And in fact, a week on Sunday, another couple and ourselves are heading off to Coral Bay to swim with the whale sharks. I think we've been very ambitious, but we're going to give it a red hot go. And as one of our members posted, hi, I'm glad I found you but don't want to be here. Currently dealing with my mother and my mother-in-law, both at the end stage of dementia. Both my father and father-in-law died 3 years ago. They were all mid-late 80s, so it seems bizarre that I'm here now due to my partner. Hashtag too soon, hashtag life sucks. So, you know, none of us, the truth is, none of us want to be here, to be honest. So, there you go. We currently have 104 members. We started off with about 30 all those years ago, and we continue to get referrals from a lot of the agencies, and we're not funded, but you know what, we're doing a pretty good job hanging it together with our group. And it really shows the value of that peer support and the empowerment that we have as a group. When we kick-started YODyssey, we were obviously using art to raise public awareness of YOD and the perception of living with dementia. Now, I've got to say there are three things that really make me cringe and want to scream, and I'm going to share them with you. Dementia is constantly being defined as memory loss. I can't tell you how many times the first question I get asked is, does Michael still know who you are? Can't tell you, I just want to go. Anyway, dementia, and just to say, it is a neurological disease, and really what it's impacting is the executive function and cognitive control. Sure, the working memory is affected, and by that we mean the information that we can hold at any one time. It's not memory as in memory. And, you know, if I think of Michael, oh my God, he's a walking jukebox. If you play a song from anywhere between the 50s and the 90s, he will start singing that song. I'm serious. So no problem with memory at all. Sometimes he will have trouble recognising what someone or something is. For example, he might go to the fridge to get the milk, and guess what? The brain is not seeing that that bottle there is actually the milk, and that was what the problem is. It's not the memory, it's the perception of what that is and the recognition of what it is. So I think, again, that's what I would like to change, is that we stop defining dementia as memory loss, because really it's not that. And of course, with that disruption to the functioning of the brain and cognition, then things like multitasking, the ability to plan, all of those things become increasingly challenging to the point where it becomes, you know, too hard to even make a cup of tea. The other thing one of my pet peeves, dementia is familial or inherited. For those of you who have a grandmother or a loved one who has had dementia, doesn't mean you're going to get dementia. Less than 5% of dementia is actually inherited, so please don't, of course the prevalence will increase with age. The longer we live, the more likely it is that we will get dementia. And please, it is not a lifestyle disease, and I'm not even going to go there because I could speak on that one. It's a discussion for another time. But I guess we're 10 years plus down the track, and I think to live well with dementia, the things that I've learned in that time is that we need to be honest. Denying or minimising what is going on is just not helpful. And I think, Keith, you spoke to that brilliantly, and I commend you for your courage to take the lead and go and relinquish your licence, because when you've already lost your job and your colleagues and part of your identity and who you've been for a good part of your life, and then suddenly to find yourself, oh, you're not allowed to drive anymore, or it's not safe for you to drive anymore, that's a really tough one. And then we have to be willing to let go of control and life as we know it. Dementia is an adventure that will take you to places that you never imagined. So get educated, find out all you can, know what you don't know, get to know all of that. And, you need to start preempting and planning ahead and not being afraid to do that. Try and future-proof yourself, given, we haven't hit retirement age. So financial, health, advanced care planning, all of those things, we have to get prepared, be prepared, and really be prepared to make some pretty tough decisions really, and make some, dare I say it, sacrifices along the way. I mean, I had to stop work long before I intended to. Be curious and playful. Follow their mood and their emotions and their behaviour. Try to make sense of what is going on. If they need soothing, if they need redirection, support, distraction, whatever it is, go with that. And I mean, just to give you an example, Mike is a wonderful wanderer. He's always been an adventurer. He's done the Bushman track end to end, and he was on Mount Everest the day we had the earthquake, and lost contact for a few days. So he loves to wander, and if any exit point is unlocked for any length of time, believe me, he's like Mr. Houdini. And only the other morning, the lawnmower man had been, and I hadn't padlocked the side gate, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, the dog is jumping up and down in my room, and I'm going, something's going on here. And I could hear a bit of noise out the front, and I look out the window, and there is Michael, loaded up as he is with all his gear. And I'm going, so what are you up to? And he goes, I'm on a mission for the Secret Service. And I said, good-o, well, they've just rung me and said you're no longer required and you need to go back inside. So sometimes we just have to go with what's going on. The other thing, and I think this is a really important one, is be collaborative. You need to gather a support network, and that's your friends, family and service providers. And we've already heard how important it is to stay socially connected, and not just with the people but community as well. The other important piece of information, I think, you need to have a robust care and support plan, and it needs to be reviewed as the situation changes, and work it so that it reflects a person's strengths and the things they like to do. We've already heard that. It's not about what you can't do, it's what you can do, and do more of that and what works. And last but not least, don't be afraid to ask for help and accept help when it's offered. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. I hope all of our speakers tonight have imparted some wisdom, inspired you, and given you some idea as to why YODyssey is here and keeps coming back year after year. I do have a few thank yous to acknowledge just quickly before we wrap up. Thank you to Dementia Australia for the support materials you have given to this exhibition. There are dementia helpline cards if you need someone to talk about your situation or about a loved one who's living with dementia. That line is 24/7. I'd also like to thank the Limelight Theatre for the loan of all the mannequins that you see in the space this evening. It always pays to have a good theatre connection. Thank you to Zealous Productions for the loan of this PA gear so that everyone could be heard. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Jeremy and all the staff and volunteers here at the Victoria Park Centre for the Arts. Leona, Long, Jay, Susan, we could not have done this without you and your wonderful assistance. Thank you to our artists and their wonderful families. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself and your work out there for people to see. Thank you to the YODyssey Collective for bringing this wonderful exhibition to life. The Anson family, Greg, Maree, the Clark family, the Gordon family, Vicki and Mike, you're all so passionate, and without your support this would never have come to fruition. Annika and Claire, you are the backbone of Mind the Change, and your creative and artistic dedication to supporting those living with dementia to connect to the arts does not go unnoticed. And lastly, a sneaky thank you to my husband and my daughter, Suresh and Allegra. Without your patience and support, I would not be able to pull off what I do and would not have been here installing or be at this opening event today. So without any further ado, I'd like to officially announce YODyssey 2023 open. And please stay, make the most of this networking opportunity, help yourself to drinks and nibbles in the back room. If I can just quickly ask all speakers and all of the family, people are like associated with this exhibition. So that's the Gordon family and Keith and Julie. If you could just come, we're just going to have a couple of sneaky photos. Sorry, Julie. She didn't know that. She's like, wait, no. But yes, thank you so much. It means so much to have each and every one of you here. Whether you know me, whether you know Keith, whether you're affiliated with the Arts Centre or the City of Vic Park, it's just brilliant to have the support. Please tell all your friends we're here for 3 weeks, so we'd love to have some people through the door and just learning a little bit more about young onset dementia. Thank you.